In this particular case, I've chosen as a random example to use ignition correction versus gear. Again, we see that it starts off, it's a single value. Well, that's not really going to help us much, right? So let's go to F3. So we've typed in gear. It's now there in this particular example. Because it had a vehicle speed sensor already, you just go into transmission, you set up the functions, you tell it to use gear ratio. A table you are going to have to set up on your own, but for sake of discussion, we're going to pretend that already happened. So we're going to select gear. How many gears do you have? This one has 5. Now we can do 0 as neutral. I'm not going to bother to do that. We're going to put in 5 gears. And we're going to do enable axis versus RPM. I think I'm going to switch this to manifold pressure because I don't have to pull timing out at all points. And I really don't care about pulling timing versus vacuum. Maybe cruise. So we're going to go to the wizard. We're going to go 5 pounds of boost. We're going to go 25 pounds of boost, 5 psi at a time. And we have a table. So F3, choose the axes that you want. And in this case, again, gear versus pressure. Maybe in 5th gear at 25 pounds of boost. I know that I can't trust somebody because they're going to be flooring it. They're probably going to put 87 octane in the car. Let's do -5. Hit V. So each boost level in 5th gear, it's going to pull a little timing. That's honestly probably pretty aggressive, but as an example, we can populate the table real quick. We know 3rd, we can let them have all of it. So maybe what you do is you bring it over, you hit H, and now we've set it up so that the top of 4th gear, 25 pounds of boost, it's going to pull some timing. Again, save the motor on pump gas. Probably not something you're going to do on ethanol. Probably something you're not going to do on methanol, I would hope. And then maybe this axis isn't going to work for you. Maybe you do need to do it versus RPM. And you just have to know that in the back of your mind that you need to remember, if you did it versus RPM as an example, 2000 RPM, you're not going to have any boost. 4000 RPM, you could have anywhere from 0 to 40, depending on the turbo size. Things to keep in mind, but we can see that the Haltech gives us a lot of capability that we're not going to have in a lot of ECUs short of something like a Motec, where that's going to require somebody, usually the person that you purchased it from, to do some custom development writing using M1 build. This allows us to do a lot of this very fast, very effectively, and maybe it's something we need, maybe it's something we don't need. So we're going to do one more example just because I'm feeling a little silly. So let's switch to a custom table to show you the true power of what we can do here. So for my kind of silly example of the power of setting up a custom table in Haltech, I'm going to do a boost control output generic correction. So in this case, I've already gone and set up the sensor that I'm going to use under generic. But what we'll do, F3, we're going to set up our axes. In this case, it's manifold pressure by default. I'm going to do vehicle speed. So as you can see, we didn't even have to type it all the way out before it showed up, which is handy. Go to the wizard. I'm going to start this particular table. We're going to start at 50 miles an hour. We're going to go to 150 miles an hour. And increment value 25. We have the table. We're going to enable this axis, select, and here's the name of my funny channel. We're going to do it versus tire pressure. Wizard, we're going to go 10 psi to 50 psi. Increment value, we'll go 10. And now we have a table that, based on speed and tire pressure, we can pull a wastegate duty out to make the car slow. So we don't necessarily have to do it this high of speed range, but maybe we'll be negative 100% if we're down to 10 or 20 psi. Let's say this is a street car. We're not going to talk about a drag car where that might be what you want. Maybe 40 is the goal, 30 is the goal. Maybe we'll have to go and add. And here's a fun tip. If you just click anywhere, you type a number, and if it fits in, it's going to add it. We'll do that again, add 25. Okay. And it already started to interpolate for us. So let's say 35 is what we want. We know that we're fine there. And then we just populate our table. So it's going to pull 25% off the table. Keep in mind that that's 25% of the value of the table. The table is 50%. It's only going to pull 12.5 because that's 25% of 50. And then here, we don't need to do anything necessarily unless that's the range we want to run. Maybe we're towing. At any rate, we can set up lots of options for tables just based on our needs and our imagination. So I hope this has been something that you found helpful in how to use the Haltech's ability with custom tables. If it's something that you like, please smash the like button. If you think that it's worthy of subscribing to, please do that. Hit the bell if you want notified of new content as it's added. We are going to have some coming up. You can also hit the thanks if you want to donate to the channel. That's up to you. I'm never going to ask anybody to do that. I provide this information for free because I want to, but you have all of those options. Thanks, guys. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. If that content is something that you like, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Definitely leave comments for positive, negative. Let me know where I can improve, what you guys want to see in the future. It just helps the channel and it helps get you the content that you want. If possibly you have a friend or a community group that can benefit from content like this, please consider sharing it with them. Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to go. Lastly, if you want notified as new content is added, simply click on the bell icon and YouTube will do that for you. Thanks again, guys. Take care.